for entertainment purposes only. And if you want true legal advice, contact your own lawyer.
Oh, come on. Oh, stop it.
You're listening to Radio Law Talk. And now back to the show.
So those of you who don't know, Denise is an Oregon duck, and she's from Oregon. And the coronavirus, there's people out there that actually take advantage of natural disasters or issues. In fact, there are laws, by the way, concerning natural disasters and you not taking advantage of people during those time periods. And by the way, Denise is a family law attorney. I'm a personal injury lawyer. Todd Cunion's a former prosecutor for the DA's office and now has his own practice doing criminal defense. But in Oregon, apparently, this is what I call dumb criminals. This is, you see those things as like dumb criminals. This one takes the cake. So with the coronavirus going on, and believe me, people are not going to be very kind to you if you're doing something to take advantage of it, especially severely taking advantage of it. He steals these respirator masks, cases of them, from, quote, the rebuilding center in Portland.
Right.
And he steals 20 to 25 cases of these masks, which, by the way, each case holds 400 masks. So add up 25 cases times 400. I don't have my math calculator going, but that's a lot of masks that our nurses and our doctors don't have that they need. And guess what he does? You know what? I know I'm going to make some money on this. I'm going to put it on Craigslist. Not only on Craigslist, but in the general area where they're from.
Because the cops will never look there.
No, wait,
they'll never look there.
Yeah, I'm going to make bucks, man. We're going to make big bucks on this. Yeah. We got no more llamas outside and cows. We're going to make some money. We're in Oregon. And we love Oregon, by the way. We're in Medford, Salem, and Grants Pass, and we love you guys.
And I grew up in the Oregon area, and my early years were just outside of Salem in Independence.
But Denise, what's going on here with this Oregon guy? And
well, he thinks he's going to make a ton of money, and
yeah.
These are the N95 respirator masks. These aren't just regular ones. These are the ones that.
These are the good stuff.
These are the good stuff that are the triple layer, really finely done, to where doctors and first responders, period. First responders are feeling like they need to have this for their protection. So he's out there, taking these, put them on Craigslist, trying to go to the highest bidder. And, the whole value of all of it was only about $2,500. But that's grand larceny, isn't it?
All I got to say is, yeah, got some masks here. Yeah. No, let's see. You're in a trailer up in the mountains. Is that what? Yeah, that's what I deal with is masks. That's my job. So anyway, they recovered almost all of them. And you know what this company did? It donated them. Once the police recovered them, it donated them to the hospitals.
Just remember, Oregon is one of the first states to legalize recreational marijuana. No known connection, but I'm just saying, this sounds like a guy who gets all toked up and goes, hey, man, we got a plan.
I can go through the drive-through marijuana dispenser.
Yeah.
And you know what? Just like that, in Arizona, a man stole dozens of coronavirus testing kits from a health clinic. He posed as a driver, a delivery driver, rolls into Arizona, into this clinic, this health clinic, and says, check it out, man. Let's grab some of these testing kits. Now, how do you sell that? Now, okay, you steal it. How do you sell that? George, hey, I got some stash for you.
You take it to your neighborhood bar and you go, hey, dude, so something fell off the truck. But what's interesting is most of those kits had to go back to D.C. for verification.
That's exactly right. What are you doing? Like, hey, are you on the corner going, here's some ganji, and oh, by the way, you want a testing kit? What? How do you sell that? So anyway, that it's all working out. We're getting everything back, but it just cracks me up what some people do during these crises. And then this is, again, I wish our criminal law attorney was here, but I don't know. It just doesn't say what they're.
He just tweeted me. He said, "I'll take that case."
Oh, I just gotta say, okay, Todd.
No, he did not.
Yeah, no, he probably would take that case. So you know what? Here's the other thing that's interesting. Let me tell you what else is going on. So we've got issues, and this is a serious issue with individuals. What do they tell us to do? They tell us to stay at home, stay away from people 6 feet, except your family. We're our families together. And let me tell you the nice thing about it. Can I tell some positive things about the coronavirus?
Sure.
The positive thing about coronavirus is well, there's positive and negative. The negative is you're going to get a divorce if you're around your spouse too much, maybe. But the positive thing is that you're around your family more. I mean, it forces me as an attorney that I work very hard. Our firm is a large firm. We're a successful firm, and I work 24/7. It seems like I work 24/7. This has forced me to back off and spend a little time with the family. In fact, yesterday was the first day I took some time off and spent all day working out on my ranch, fixing fences and hanging out with kids and grandkids and whatever. But it forces us. So I guess that's the only positive thing. But what it's doing is people together. Where are people together, Denise? They're together in the prisons and in the jails systems. Now, that's where they're worried about getting coronavirus.
Or
actually,
homeless camps.
Or homeless camps. But at least they can,
Well,
at least they can leave.
That's where the term shelter in place came.
Right.
Was that it was for homeless people to find shelter and stay there. And it wasn't just for that, but you know what I mean. It was to include them in the idea that it was.
But here's the difference.
To be social distancing.
They can leave. They're not forced to stay where they are. Where when you're in prison or jail, you're stuck there.
True.
And so, not that everybody's feeling sorry for people in prison and jail, but now we've got individuals. We had Avenatti last time try to get out of jail, right? Saying that let me out because of coronavirus.
And they've given him another chance to try that again. So in other words, when they dismissed it or denied it at first, they did it without prejudice. But now they have given him the sign that he can re-ask for that. And there's also Weinstein has coronavirus, and he was in Rikers and he got transferred to a different prison, and he's tested positive for coronavirus.
now he's brought a motion. Well, don't forget, he was, from when he was convicted, he was taken to Bellevue Hospital. Remember, he had the heart issues. He had got a stent put in his heart. And then he's been to Rikers.
Which is the hardest prison in New York.
And apparently, well, he's not in Rikers. I don't know where he is, but Rikers.
No, he was in Rikers.
Yeah, Rikers Island. Yeah.
Okay, he was.
And then he got transferred to Wynn-Day Correctional Facility, which is in Buffalo.
But in
Rikers,
38 people have already tested positive as of last week. So you're confined with these people. And if anywhere coronavirus is going to take off, it's going to be within the prisons and the jails. So what's happening is the Weinsteins are saying, look, here's a situation, and his attorneys are bringing motions to saying this guy is not a threat. He's not going to run away. Send him home. Put him on a monitor. Put a ankle monitor on him. Right. And let's just not he's not just because he's convicted of a felony doesn't mean he's supposed to die from coronavirus.
Right, and the other person who's making the similar motion is Bill Cosby.
Yeah, I was just going to talk about that.
Yeah, and that's because he's blind currently. I didn't realize he was blind. He's fully blind now.
Yeah, so Bill Cosby has just brought, actually they haven't officially brought the motion yet. They're saying they are bringing the motion he's 82 years old. He's blind. Now Me Too movement, people that are, believe that he should do time. We have to step back and look at a couple things. And I'm not saying this is the right or wrong answer. The question you ask yourself at these times and during these times, they're going to be letting people out of prison and jail early. In fact, one state just let out 300. New York just set up. Cuomo, Bill de Blasio just announced 300 nonviolent elderly prisoners are going to be released from Rikers Island.
And in California, they've stopped all new prisoners flowing into the state system, whether they're juveniles or adults. Right. They just put a halt on it right now.
That's
and what they've also done is...
And that was a governor's executive order.
Executive order.
Well, what I understand, again, I don't know all the details, but my understanding is it's for smaller... they are taking people with serious crimes there, but not smaller felonies or misdemeanors, petty thefts like that. They're just giving them a basically notice to appear instead of them showing up. So we better be careful. I don't think it's for serious, like murder or attempted murder or burglary or other types of burglary. Todd was here. He probably knows the answer. But I think they are, Cal. But look that up because I know for petty thefts they are, and I have actually talked to a judge about it, and that's what he said. But yes, I want to talk about the Bill Cosby thing. So this is what I want to ask you guys. Everybody out there, you can chime in at it's 855 Law Radio. You could chime in and tell us, is Bill Cosby a threat? Should we let this 82-year-old blind man out? Is he a threat to society? And I know people say, well, that has nothing to do with it. The answer is no. He's not a threat to society. I mean, well, I doubt it. Let me back up. I doubt it, being his age, blind. But, people say, well, he still needs to pay for his crime. But still, should Bill Cosby let out because of the coronavirus?
And because of his age.
Yeah, because of his age. We're going to be back, and we're going to talk a little bit about that issue.
Todd had his kitty. Are you serious?
Radio Law Talk. Now, back to the show.
Well, he does.
I know. Enjoy your kitties. Todd is single, by the way, ladies out there that are joining us from the new affiliates, and Todd's single.
And I saw something today that just confused me.
What?
He has a dog, apparently, that plays the guitar.
Oh.
Did you see that?
Yeah, it's. I think is his name Elvis? I don't know what his name is.
I
But,
don't know. He's the cutest dog, though.
oh yeah.
All I got to say is Todd's got kitties. Single with kitties. That's why he'll never get married. So, anyway. Todd's not here. I can make fun of him. Hey, we're going to get back to Cosby, and I really want to talk about this. You can call us at 855 Law Radio. Those of you who are quarantined, sitting around. And listen, if you want to hear our show, and a lot of times affiliates play it for 1 hour, 3 hours. We're a 3-hour live show, Saturday, 9 to noon Pacific time. Go to www.radiolawtalk.com. Click on the live button. You can listen to us live if affiliates aren't covering us. But tell your local affiliates. There's a lot of people out there that are joining. It's coming up fast. The show. Breaking news. We want to tell you this just came out. Trump's. This is according to the Daily Mail. President Trump is considering quarantine all of New York, Connecticut, and New Jersey in desperate efforts to slow the spread of the coronavirus. He didn't say he's going to. He said, quote, "We'd like to see New York quarantined because it's a hot spot," which is true. New York is a hot spot right now. New York, New Jersey, maybe one or two other places, certain parts of Connecticut quarantine. I'm thinking about that right now, he said. We might not have to do it, but there's a possibility that sometime today we will do a quarantine. Short term, 2 weeks for New York, probably New Jersey, and parts of Connecticut. I thought it was going to be the opposite. I thought he was going to say, let's just drop this quarantine because the economy is suffering so much. But anyway, we'll see what happens.
Well, I think he's facing the real possibility that there's going to be a huge shortage of the respirator or the ventilators.
It's not going to matter if people are all going to be out of work committing suicide and doing all types of stuff like that. That doesn't, that's one argument that people say. I'm just telling the argument. So what do? The whole economy tanks and the whole world goes down, and next thing you know, I don't know if that's politically correct because we're politically neutral here, but there's two sides to stories. As lawyers, we argue both sides. So I don't know. I'm glad I'm not the president making the decision. We're just here at Radio Law Talk enjoying life, kind of enjoying life. Actually, I like being here with you, Denise and Cal. We really enjoy this. Now, Bill Cosby, let's talk about this. Now, what do you guys think? Why can't they release Bill Cosby? He's not a threat. He's 82 or 85. He's blind. He's not going to go out. The odds of him going out and doing something are slim and none. What is it? What do you think? Why, Cal, what do you think?
The district attorney is elected. And remember, it was the handling of this case that flipped everything over and turned one DA out, got another DA in, got another guy appointed judge. This whole mess was a political pressure surrounding whether or not to prosecute Bill Cosby in the first place.
Yes, and you're right, Cal, you're right on. So if those of you who go back to our podcast, just type in Bill Cosby. We've talked about it before. This is up on appeal, and I've said it. I think this thing might be appealable, Bill Cosby, if he lives that long. For it to get appealed, because there is what I believe the possibility of huge conflicts of interest of the prosecutors and or the judges in his case.
So the one thing that politicians react to is constituent pressure. And I'm sure one prosecutor is thinking, do I want to be the guy that let out a convicted serial female abuser? Or do I want to be the guy that let him out?
Right, and I think that's going to be an issue.
I'm sure the governors feel like that too.
I would imagine so.
Why would I commute a sentence? Why would I do this? Because it could be suicide.
And I agreed with that. But
political suicide.
If he was a nobody, they probably would have let him go. Blind, 82,
No brainer.
No brainer. They probably, not going anywhere. Well, here's the interesting thing. So they're thinking of bringing a motion to allow him to leave the facility and go home monitored, and that's where he serves out the rest of his sentence. Well, I would say at least during the coronavirus outbreak. But here's the one issue that they're arguing. The Pennsylvania Department of Correction argued and said, by the way, you can make that argument, but there are no inmates within the whole system, at least according to them at this time as of a few days ago, that have tested positive for the virus. So he can argue that, but right now there's nobody.
So it's a straw man argument. There's no.
Yeah. And the question is, they said they have plans also because he's in the Pennsylvania Department of Corrections. They also have a plan in place if there's a breakout, they have a quarantine setup area within the prison system. So, but guess what they're doing there? Bill Cosby's probably not because he can't see, but they're making masks right now. Instead of license plates, they're making masks in the prison system. So
a lot of volunteer groups are doing that too, which is really very cool. That people are having the, they're stepping up and use. I understand that Joanne's Fabric is. If you call them up and say, I want to get this cotton stuff, they'll cut up in squares and deliver it to you out the front door because they recognize how important this is.
Wow.
So that's really great.
Yeah. So Todd texted me about that one issue. He said, just remember. This is our Todd that's homesick. He's sick with, believe it or not, allergies. It's not right now the allergy season's so bad in California he can hardly breathe. He says, just remember, this is Todd, the requests for early release are typically made to the sentencing judge. So the concern for constituents is real, but it's the judge who would be concerned. Remember the Stanford swimmer case.
But most judges
but
are
that
ratified.
Depends on the state and whether or not the judges are elected.
Yeah, that's true.
Because some are not elected, some are appointed. Some ways you can't remove them, but for a crime.
But this isn't a federal case, so it's likely he's ratified by some electoral process. But the prosecutor, I'm sure, would be the guy who said, now I've got to stand up and fight this.
Yeah.
I've got to stand up and fight this because I don't want to be the guy who let him out on the street. I mean, really, the political implications of this can kill a career.
Go to the website, radiolawtalk.com. That's radiolawtalk.com.